What's up, guys? Scotty here with Will Ball for Soup, and this is the Tyler Harmon to Houston Heat special. With all the information out there right now, things feel a little bit sugar-coated. When you look at the situation, when you look at the story, don't you think to yourself, there's gotta be something more to this. There's gotta be another reason why Tyler left Dynasty for Houston Heat. Well, guys, you are in the right place. If you really want to know the truth as to why Tyler made this move, I have some insane insider information that's probably going to blow your mind. Because when I figured it out, when I heard it, I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now. Now, I apologize for the mic quality in advance. I filmed a WCPPL with Sicarios. There's an awesome collab coming out, and my camera took a ton of direct hits. So normally I use that camera's mic and I just talk into it, but that camera is dead. RIP my camera. So I'm using my gaming mic that I normally use to play Valorant. And yo, if you guys want to play some Valorant with me, I'll leave my information in the video somewhere. The first thing we have to look at is how bizarre the timing of this move is. Now, normally a professional organization like Dynasty, they have their shit together, right? They should have a contract in the hands of Tyler Harmon before he even steps onto the field for Event 1. Now, because of COVID, because of whatever, there was no contract before Event 1. Tyler Harmon is not an idiot. He's not going to go breach his contract, which is a civil offense. He'd be subjected to civil litigation, and shit would get real. Shit would get very real for Tyler, having to defend a breach of contract claim from his former team. So he would not be dumb and walk into that legal trap. Using that, you can infer that there was some sort of a mistake at Dynasty. The Dynasty front office, who's ever running that front office, messed this thing up bad. A player should not be able to walk away from an organization like Dynasty after one event. So there was no contract. The next part of why Tyler made this decision is way below the surface. There really aren't too many people who even know about this, and I'm the only one right now who's going to go public with one of the bigger reasons why Tyler decided to walk out the door. Now, there is a conflict between the Dynasty ownership and management, as well as Play the Game, Tyler's podcast. There is some dispute, debate, friction. Friction would be the better word, over certain sponsors going through Tyler's Play the Game and not going through Dynasty as a team. I really don't know much about this conflict, so I'm not going to try to explain it. I'm definitely not taking a side, but the gist of it is there's a little conflict, there's a little friction about sponsorship dollars going to Play the Game instead of sponsorship dollars going to Team Dynasty. And that was one of the bigger reasons why Tyler walked away, and you're not going to hear that from anyone but Scotty here at Will Ball for Soup. If you guys take a look at Tyler's Instagram, after he announces his move to Houston Heat, there's a big blurb saying in all caps, the show will go on stronger than ever as we continue to grow at Play the Game. So there is, in Tyler's mind, the working relationship between PTG and Dynasty, the sponsors, the money, the marketing. It wasn't working out. And he put that in there is kind of like a little, this is actually a little bit about PTG. We feel like we're being held down a little bit. So the fact that PTG made it into his announcement is somewhat of a hiding in plain sight type communication from Tyler. Or maybe I'm reading too deep into this. What do you guys think? It's no secret, guys. If you want to make money playing professional paintball, like real pay your bills, buy a house money, you're going to play for one of two teams. Those two teams are Edmonton Impact and Houston Heat. Now, we have to analyze why those two teams, and only those two teams, are paying players real big boy money. It's because their owners are independently wealthy outside of paintball. Houston Heat is owned by Sarge. Sarge made a ton of money in the corporate world with UPS. Using that corporate money that he's made, this team is his toy. And you know what? That's beautiful. Like guys like Sarge and Bart, who are these patrons of paintball, these money men, I respect them. We need those guys to pay pro players what they're really worth. The next thing I know a lot of you guys are going to be wondering is the money. Is this about the money? How much money is Tyler Harmon going to get from Houston Heat? How much money was he really making on Dynasty? I have some of those figures leaked to me right here, but I'm not going to violate the norm of going public with another man's paintball salary. I respect Tyler way too much to just throw out these numbers that are unconfirmed. I'm not going to ask, hey Tyler, is this what your event check's going to look like? I'm not going to say that. That's disrespectful, and I intend to make this video with the utmost respect for both Dynasty and Tyler Harmon, because I really like both parties. Like, I don't think there's a good guy or a bad guy in this situation. I want them both to do well. And part of that line of keeping things respectful is for me not to throw out the number. I have an idea. I have some numbers that were leaked to me, but I'm not going to throw that out there. What I will say is Tyler Harmon's compensation from Houston Heat has a larger, twice as large event check compared to what he was getting on Dynasty. And he's also going to maintain his royalties that he gets from his licensed apparel with HK Army, because Houston Heat is an HK team as well. So he keeps the HK Army deal, and he's getting a double boost to his event check. So Tyler Harmon is set to make a significant amount more money with Houston Heat. Yes, that's true. But Tyler, in my mind, is still being paid a little bit less than what he deserves. He really deserves more than this number. But I really am rooting for him, man. I'm rooting for this guy to make his money. He's got a wife and 2 kids. He's got to put those kids through college. And he's 32 years old. That's the other thing that's a part of this story, right? Tyler Harmon's prime is another, 4 seasons, 3 seasons before he starts slowing down and falls out of his prime. So he's going to have a set amount of time in which he's able to make a salary doing what he loves, playing paintball. That's the dream. So for anybody out there who's hating on Tyler for chasing a check or going to a team who's going to pay him closer to what he's worth, that's messed up. You shouldn't hate on him for making this move. We need Tyler Harmon to make this money so future generations of pro players also get paid better too. So here's what I'm thinking. If this friction between Play the Game and the Dynasty organization exists over sponsorship, wouldn't this also apply to Marcelo? So in my mind, this isn't based on anything. This isn't based on any information. There is a chance at the end of the season that Marcelo's going to walk away because of friction over Play the Game sponsorship and Dynasty sponsorship. We know that friction is real. That exists. Now, will that also push Marcelo to walk out the door? So what does this really mean for Dynasty? Well, Tyler Harmon is special because he's their best player, but he's also the heart of the team. Like, if you look at the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry, best player, but the heart of the team, that's Draymond Green. Tyler Harmon is the heart of the team, and he's the best player, and he's just walking out the door. Tyler didn't go back to Dynasty and say, hey, Houston Heat gave me this great offer. Could you guys maybe match that offer? Could we work something out? He didn't give them the chance to give a counteroffer. And this news was as shocking to us as it was to Dynasty themselves. This is the biggest shakeup in the pro division ever. And there's no other way to look at it. Dynasty is going to be weaker. If they had a rough event with Tyler Harmon, they're going to have an even rougher event without Tyler Harmon. And this hurts me to say it because I'm a Dynasty fan, but I'm also a realist. I like to keep it real here at Will Ball for Soup. And there's no other way to see it that this is going to hurt Dynasty. Alright guys, this has been the emergency Tyler Harmon episode. I was kind of noticing that people just weren't putting out the truth. Or they weren't really getting into the mud. They weren't getting into the dirty details of how and why this thing happened. And I felt that this video was necessary to kind of give people a better, more clear picture of why this move happened. I will keep everybody who I spoke with to get this information completely secret. So if you're DMing me, hey, who told you this? Or hey, how much does T-Harm make? I'm not going to tell you shit. My lips are sealed, man. This is going to be kept secret. I hope I did a fair job portraying both Dynasty, Houston Heat, and Tyler in this video. I really, really love all those organizations. I have no beef with them. I'm just here to report the news. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for the mic quality. This is kind of an emergency episode. I really had no plans to do this. But I'm here on my gaming mic. Gonna hop on some Valorant after I edit this one. See you later.